Welcome everybody to the X Factor podcast. Today, I'm recording this Saturday. You won't get it until Monday, so Monday afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are. Today we'll be going over Smackdown review, or I'll probably post it today or tomorrow, not Monday. But we're gonna have a good episode for you here today. We're gonna talk about the Civil War of the Bloodline. We're going to be talking about everything that pretty much happened last night and a little more. There's some AEW stuff we need to talk about. The CM Punk interview, which we'll get into that here in just a second here. And then that's what we're going to get for today. Monday or Sunday, you'll probably get the AEW Collision review with Rampage. And then Monday will be your half-year awards plus your weekly awards. So, like I always say, any updates, follow the Twitter XFactorMG5654. And let's get right into it. So, they're in Lexington, Kentucky. In my opinion, they had a great crowd out there last night. I think the crowd was what you expect out of a big crowd like that. So, really great to see that. It started off with the undisputed WWE Championship #1 contendership gauntlet match. Started out with the Brawling Brutes versus Street Profits. I honestly thought that first start was really quick. I feel like they should have added a little more to what they did there. For the little time they had, I wasn't really interested up until when they had to face when Brawling Brutes had to face Pretty Deadly, because they swept Street Profits, OC, Hit Row, and they beat them in 5 seconds. Street Profits, I feel like they felt like a squash match. LWO, same thing. OC, they got a little bit in there. I thought it was pretty decent. But really, what caught my eye was Pretty Deadly and Brawling Brutes. And I thought the time they had there at the end with the commercial break, then coming out of commercial break, how the finish ended. I feel like Pretty Deadly, one of them pinning Sheamus was perfect right there. And then Pretty Deadly won. So in 2 weeks, the night before Money in the Bank, Pretty Deadly will face Sami Zayn and Kevin for the Undisputed Tag Championships. Now I understand why they got so many good stuff on SmackDown in 2 weeks, because they're going to be in London in the same arena they're going to be for Money in the Bank. So, and then they hit a commercial break. They come out, Pretty Deadly still standing there. Sami and Kevin come out, and Pretty Deadly trying to celebrate their victory. And, Kevin stayed calm up until Sami said something. Pretty much telling Pretty Deadly to get the hell out of here. And, he asked Kevin, he's like, Kevin, you're not upset by it? And, he's like, nah, I'm trying to keep my cool. But then as you said something, they're going to try to kick their ass. And then, they ended up leaving. So, the gauntlet match I thought it was fast, but the last one with Pretty Deadly and Brawling Brutes I thought was good. Not the best one, but not the worst one they've had. It's right there in the middle of the So, Selena Vega versus Io Sky. Io Sky and Selena Vega both in the Money in the Bank. Bayley's also going in the Money in the Bank. So, we got a little bit of time in there. I thought the time they had was pretty good. 2 unbelievable talents, in my opinion. Selena Vega, since she's actually able to have matches now, I feel like she's doing a lot better than what she was a long time ago. She's getting a lot over now than what she was a long time ago. You can tell the teases with Io Sky going babyface are becoming real now, because, how the finish ended with Bayley distracted her. And you can notice the cheers coming from the crowd for Io Sky. It's like wanting Bayley to, wanting for Io Sky to turn on Bayley. Selena Vega ended up winning with a 619. And then, Io Sky is really upset about it. They got a backstage interview. Later on, And Shotzi came up to Bayley and challenged her to a match. And if Bayley lost, Shotzi would take her spot. They did mention something about someone replacing someone's spot in the Money in the Bank, and I was assuming that was just be Logan Paul doing it. But now I can see Bayley might be getting replaced with Shotzi. And I don't know how to feel about that because we've seen how Shotzi was in last year's Money in the Bank. She was very dangerous in my opinion. And let's just hope that if this does happen, they do pull with it. Hopefully she has a better run this time. So we got the Grayson Waller effect with Charlotte Flair 15-time champion. Or 14-time. 14-time champion. And asks her if she's going to become 15, 16, 17, whatever. And, well, we get Bianca Belair. And in my opinion, Bianca Belair pulled her best promo on the main roster since she's been on the main roster. This new style, this new attitude from Bianca, in my opinion, I think it's the best thing we've seen so far, in my opinion, from Bianca. Because, before it was just, her being, non-attitude, just being like, here, I'll put my title on the line against anybody. Now it's like this attitude in her like she had in NXT. It's like she got a little funk in her step, and that's what really is what we've been wanting from Bianca for months now. Now, if they keep this type of Bianca and have her win the women's title, I will be full board with her having another 400-some day reign. Because as long as it's not pale and bland, it's good. And they're obviously teasing a Charlotte versus Bianca match, which that would blow up the roof everywhere. I'm just hoping Charlotte does not beat Asuka, because Asuka, I think, should have a long run. I feel like Io Sky should win Money in the Bank, and she should cash in on her at some point and become champion. Like I said, that Smackdown women's roster is so stacked, it's unbelievable. And I really think that they should have one of them or two of them go over to Raw to get some challengers for Rhea. We got Karrion Kross and Scarlett versus Michin and AJ Styles. With AJ Styles having the quote of the year, "I'm married, bitch," to Scarlett in the end of the match. And a lot of these matches were not even that long, to be honest with you. We had 4 matches last night, and all of them seemed short. This one was one of them that seemed it was alright. I forgot Scarlett has been in the ring before, but we haven't seen her in that WWE ring. She did good. Michin did good. Karrion Kross, I feel like, is doing better. And he showed like a new finisher. It's like you going for a power slam, and then you switch into like an F5 type of thing. I think it's pretty cool. But Karrion Kross beat AJ clean in the ring. That's going to cause for something down the road with AJ and Karrion Kross, which I am psyched for. Overall, I thought the match was alright. Nothing really much happened there. Santos Escobar and Rey, well, it was with Rey, defeated LA Knight. Yeah. Santos Escobar, he had a promo before it saying he was going to win for Rey, how much Rey means to him, and blah, 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 blah. It was an promo, and then, LA Knight comes out and cheers. And LA Knight is so over right now. It's not even funny. Like, you're over when you're getting LA Knight chants when you're doing a fucking headlock. That's how you know you're worth something. I feel like he is one of the best options for Money in the Bank, other than Damian Priest and Shinsuke, in my opinion. Them three are the number one picks right there. But LA Knight, how much he's getting over right now? He's getting up there with more over than Shinsuke and Damian Priest. And LA Knight, he's just. And with Shinsuke, we all know how much he got over. He's been getting over. LA Knight's getting close to where he's getting either that or more over than Shinsuke. And with how much LA Knight has improved with the crowd since Royal Rumble, and all that. It's been unbelievable stuff. And if LA Knight does win the Money Bank, Seth should be the number one target and go right after him. So, but then we get our bloodline implosion. Right before we get a commercial break, Jimmy or Jay is walking down the aisle or walking in the locker room. Sammy looks at him, be like, "Do the right thing here." And he didn't even have to. And that's the thing I love about great wrestling storylines. You know when something's great or good when you don't even have to hear them talk. You just gotta see them look at each other, and you can feel, and your body just feels the intensity around it. That's pretty much when you know something's great, is when you can look at it and you don't even have to speak, talk. You just feel it. You can feel the goosebumps. You can feel the shivers in your body, and you're just like, damn. And that's what Sammy and Jay just looking at each other was. Roman came out, in my opinion, with the 3 belts. Get rid of the fucking 3 belts, man. It doesn't make sense for any... Like, it doesn't make sense for why did they bring the new title in when Paul's just going to carry the other 2 titles. At this point, you're just title collecting. Like, come on now. I'm hoping they just get rid of the 2 that they're not using. Hopefully they'll get rid of that soon. But Roman came out, acknowledged me. Entrance is so long that they had to go to a commercial break, knowing Fox. Coming back to it, Roman acknowledged me. Uso come out. Jay comes out. And, well, he's going to have to pick between Jay or Roman. And Jay's like, you got to pick between Paul and me. And, well, Roman is like, well, you know, we all got... When you become tribal chief, you'll get a wise man. You can pick who's wise man. Paul is my wise man. He helps me with everything. All that type of stuff. And, you know, in my opinion, it makes a lot of sense with Paul. I don't think Jay being... And in my opinion, Jay being tribal chief is not it. I don't see it. I see more of Solo being a tribal chief than Jay or Jimmy. Jay and Jimmy, I don't think we would ever get single runs out of them. Maybe down the road, way later, if one of them get hurt, one of them retire early, we'll probably see one of them get a singles run in. But right now, Solo, he is such a blue chip prospect to be the guy that replaced Roman in his throne. And I'm gonna point this out. The Bloodline storyline is similar. It's better than what I'm about to say it was, but it has the similarities to the Evolution from 2002 to 2005. If you realize, you know, Randy, you know, I can't say like who Randy would be in the Bloodline storyline, but I know who the Batista and the Triple H are, and I know who the Ric Flair is. Ric Flair is Paul. That's just... He's the right-hand man. Triple H is Roman. Batista is Solo. And I thought about that more and more and more. And I've been saying for months how Cody should defeat Roman for the titles. And the more I think about it, I'm like... The way they should have it is have Solo beat Roman for the title. Solo should be the right man to do it. Because it fits perfectly with Batista and Triple H. You know, the protege you never thought would leave you. Solo next year wins Royal Rumble. To be like, okay, Solo, go face Seth for the title. Go beat him. Nope. Solo picks, he's going to face you, Roman, boom, turns on both of them. And that would be a perfect. Because you notice before, Batista never really talked in his time with Evolution. And when he did, you know, it was always intense. When Solo talks, it's always intense. It's really comes down to the point where Solo should be the one to face, should be able to beat Roman at next year's WrestleMania. Or at WrestleMania 41. Who knows at that point? And the more I think about it, the more it's coming to me where it's like, yeah, it should happen. But the more I think about it, it's like more, you know, Cody should probably get it to finish his story. I don't think Cody beating Solo would be able to help finish the story. So, but that's all I really got for SmackDown. There's not really much to talk about because, in my opinion, SmackDown wasn't the best show last night. Besides Bianca and Charlotte and the Bloodline story segments, that's all really what happened that was good. Santos Escobar and LA Knight I thought was a decent match, and the rest of the matches they weren't really long because it took a half hour for the Bloodline storyline or for the Bloodline segment. And Fox, they do so many damn commercials. It's like they waste so much time. That's why they need to have like a 2 hour and 30-minute or 3 hour shows, because they take so much time. Like, it's like one little thing happens and boom, oh, we gotta go commercial break. Oh, come back 5 seconds later. Oh, we gotta go back to another commercial break. It's really getting fucking annoying at that point. It's like, and like with TBS and TNT with AEW, like with Adam Cole's thing, they had one commercial break in that 30 minutes, and it was like right in the start. Otherwise, there was no, like, you were able to watch it the whole entire wrestling. You got the side. You were able to watch, even during commercial on the side. SmackDown should do that. Raw used to do it at some points, but I don't know. That's all I really got for today. Overall, SmackDown I thought was an show. Besides its 2 segments we got from them. It is official though. Bloodline or Solo and Roman will face Jay and Jimmy at Money in the Bank. So, like I said, that's all I really got for today. Not really much of a good show. Rampage, I gotta talk about CM Punk. Yes, I do. So the CM Punk interview came out last night or yesterday, and it was more of an article than it was an interview. It was an article interview type of thing, and Punk told his side of the story, which for months we've been wanting to know what Punk's side of the story was. And the minute Punk's side of the story was, he's being a crybaby, or he's just here whining because of his ego, or a bunch of bullshit. But for months, everyone's been wanting to know what he has to say on it because they've been going based off what other people have said. And when Punk's talking, most of the time it's the truth. And this whole freaking drama started was because Hangman thought CM Punk got Colt Cabana fired. To be honest, Colt Cabana should have been fired a long time ago. He is terrible. He is a joke to the wrestling business, and that's just truth. That's just facts. That is really what it is. Colt Cabana is a joke to the wrestling industry, in my opinion. You notice what they did when they had Colt Cabana face Jericho. It was awful. So, like, if I wouldn't blame him if Punk even if he got him fired. And Tony Khan said he didn't get him fired. And Hangman being a fucking idiot. Being a dumbass like always and just fucking believing what he wants to believe kind of thing here. Had to face Punk a double or nothing. There was a spot where he felt like Hangman stiffed him. Now people are joking at Punk about that. When in reality, it does look like Hangman was trying to shoot him on there. And Punk's never been one of those guys that really shoots. If you're going to shoot on him, he's going to shoot on your back type of deal. And Hangman's had a history of being a stiff opponent. And then the whole All Out situation, Punk said he apologized for that. He said he feels bad because, he knows he was hurt. Tension with Hangman and all that was all going around, and the stuff with him, he just had to deal with Moxley, and he snapped. And that's the thing where all these type of things happen, where when someone, it's kind of like a school bully at that point. And I'll explain why. When you have the bully poking at the kid so many times, and then when that kid finally explodes, it's the kid's fault, not the bully's fault. You can't. That's the only similarity I got to that. And everyone in this situation's been acting like kids. Punk is now officially trying to get back with him and talk to him about what happened, about the all-out brawl and all that with Ace Steel and everything that would happen. And every time Punk's tried to say anything, it's the Young Bucks are hiding behind lawyers. I don't know if Kenny is, but I've definitely seen the Young Bucks. They're hiding behind lawyers. You're hiding behind lawyers because of a fucking locker room fight. Give me, and this is all over Colt fucking Cabana. Give me a fucking break. Punk has not talked to Colt Cabana in, I think, what was it, about 10 years? And all this drama because Hangman thought CM Punk got Colt Cabana fired. And yet Punk's the childish one and his ego's super high. And I'm sorry, a lot of wrestlers in wrestling have big egos. It's not just CM Punk. And right now, the Elite, in my opinion, besides Kenny, because Kenny won't say anything about it, Young Bucks are acting like children. Hangman at one point was acting like a child at some point. Otherwise, we haven't heard much from Hangman or Kenny. It's been the Young Bucks acting like fucking children about this whole entire thing. And guess what? Now their contracts are coming up, and, you know, and the wrestling media is trying to brainwash people, acting like CM Punk's like the Donald Trump of the wrestling industry. Like, give me a fucking break, people. And the wrestling Twitter, oh, they gotta be the most toxic people around. Oh my god. They're idiots and fucking delusional, and by God, whatever Dave says has to be right? It's like this whole CM Punk situation has been stupid. It's been bullshit. They should have, Hangman should have went up to him and asked him about it. He should have just, all dealt with it at one spot with Tony Khan. Tony Khan should have got them all together and said, hey, this is not what's going on. You got it all wrong, type of thing. Boom, get done. Deal with it. Make some fucking money. Quit bitching. And that seems like that's all we've been getting from the Elite. Punk just said his side of the story, and people still thinking he's the bad guy in the situation. Yeah, Punk is bad for what he did at All Out with the scrum and calling them out like that, which he should have called them out in the locker room, or should have had Tony Khan and talk to him and have them deal with it like that. But, when you blow up, you don't really know, when you're so full of everything and you're done with it, he blew up at him, and, well, that's really what happened. And then the locker room fight happened, which we'll never know what really happened besides the bite and the chair incident. In my opinion, a lot of people that have a problem with Punk have obviously never made anything good in the wrestling business. If you notice, a lot of people that are on Punk's side have done something in the wrestling business. Mark Henry, Jim Ross, Miro. I could go on this huge FTR. I can go on a list. Samoa Joe. Well, Samoa Joe, he's not in really anyone's sight. He said it's not really that much of a deal. It's not really a big deal. It was all over Colt Cabana. And they should have dealt with that a long time ago. But no. And everyone's blaming Punk like he is the scum of the earth. And that's what they made this interview was going to be. They made it seem like Punk was about to, ruin AEW with this interview, and it wasn't even that bad. He was just telling his side of the story. It's stupid. This whole thing is stupid. They should have just ended a long time ago. Tony Khan just sat there and said, hey, let's make a storyline out of this. Let's make some fucking money. Real life incidents make good money. We've seen it in the past. Now let's get the fucking work here now. And Tony Khan, I'm sorry to say, but he's, it makes it seem like he's trying to be more of a friend than anything. Which I don't know what goes on in the locker room. I don't know if that's the truth or not, but I don't know what really goes on. But that's just what it feels like, based off everything I saw and based off all the news that we've gotten so far out of all of them. And of course, Kenny and them are not going to say anything because it's just going to cause a whole new, a whole new thing. And it's, like I said, it's really stupid. I don't know. I'm just sorry with the rant. It's wrestling Twitter makes it seem like that he's just the worst person around. And make it seem like that the Elite had nothing to do with it. Punk was just there being a dick about it all. When you gotta look on both sides of the story. Punk blew up, but why did Punk blow up? Why did he do what he did at All Out? He knew he was hurt. He was tired of the bullshit. So he called him out. When he should have called him out in the locker room. Would it have changed anything? A little bit. We probably wouldn't have gotten a fight. They probably would have gotten a screaming match, but it probably wouldn't have ended up in a fight. You know, at that point, it's... Like I said, a lot of people that are being biased with it in the wrestling, in the locker room, have obviously never made big money. Because, well, a lot of people that have been sided with Punk have made good money and know that Punk's good for the business. Punk is good for the wrestling business. Whether you like him or don't like him. Whether he's a heel or babyface, he has always made good money in the wrestling business. You can't argue that. And he has a whole lot better ratings than what the Elite did, and that proves my point last week. This past fucking Wednesday. But at the end of the day, it's just, let's just hope that it all just dimes down. Hopefully they all can... Hopefully everyone can just grow up about it and, you know, talk about it and then deal with it later on. Than sitting behind lawyers and tweeting and posting stuff on fucking Instagram and all that bullshit. But that's all I got for you today. Stay blessed. Remember the Twitter, X Factor, MG5654. Monday we'll get half-year awards with a little bit of our weekly awards. And that'll be a separate video, and then we'll get our Collision and Rampage review. So, I will talk to you all later. Stay blessed.